fair to both be true. Like, yes, finally they've opened the offense because of CMC. And I was completely frustrated that they didn't open the offense earlier before he even showed up. And you want to call it a convenient excuse? Fine. But I think both are true.
Yeah, it was good to see him trust Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, looking at that drive when they're up 24-14 and allowing Jimmy to throw on that drive and put the game away. To let him throw the football on the drive in which they led or in which they took the lead 17-14 in the third quarter on the second possession. They go 11 plays, 88 yards. And they allowed Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the football, especially after Christian McCaffrey fumbled and Ray McCloud's in the right place, right time. Jimmy goes 7-7, 71 yards on that drive. Improvs to Christian McCaffrey for the touchdown. So there was a little trust. And Shanahan, I believe, knows you're 3-4. You're going into a bye week. This is a must-win game. You're getting ready for the second half. You have all these weapons. Let it fly. Let it fly. Open that baby up. And I think Christian McCaffrey does allow you to do a lot more things within the offense. But no, Anthony hit it. We want to see this offense opened up.
I agree.
You're an offensive coach.
Yes. My little pushback, and we can argue till we're blue in the face on why are they throwing to this guy? Why are they throwing to that guy? You're right. I would rather them throw to their best players. But there are plays to be made on the field, and I think that was like one of my points yesterday when we were talking about the Ray play downfield. Whether you think it's an underthrown ball or that Ray should have jumped up and used his hands is kind of irrelevant. To me, it's more the big picture. Kyle does have plays throughout the game where there are big pop plays. It just feels like they don't do enough of them, which I agree with. And then the second part is I question who they're going to, but at some level, guys have to make plays.
Well, no doubt. No doubt. But the second part, I think, is the most important part. The plays are there.
They are there.
But why are plays getting ran for Charlie Warner?
That's the
Ray McCloud.
Yes.
You know, when everybody's going crazy, because I was actually watching it live with everybody at that point of the game before it went on for Warriors pre- and post-game against the Pistons. And I remember looking at the timeline, everybody's, Jimmy this. And I remember I tweeted, I said, man, that ball was underthrown. I watched it. The ball was underthrown. And everybody's going crazy on Ray McCloud. And to myself, I'm thinking, well, yeah, it was a good play call.
No, it was a great
but
play
it's
call.
Ray McCloud.
Yeah, but who else are you going to have run that route?
I get it. I would rather see Ayuk run that route. I would rather see Danny Gray run that route.
As the number one in that game, Ayuk probably wasn't going to get
give me Danny Gray.
Look, that's fair.
And it didn't turn out to be single covers because the safety came over to help, and by the time the ball arrived, there was a double.
Well, that's because it's
2 defenders.
Because it's Ray. I'm just saying a defense was going to key on Ayuk with no Debo out there, and he's probably going to get different coverage than what he would accustom. And what I find interesting, and this is where my biggest criticism is, it's not play calling to me for Shanahan. It's some of the roster politics. For example, you referenced Danny Gray, and you're like, hey, why can't this guy get out onto the field? So, like, they've done this now a couple times this year. They bring Tevin Coleman back, and he makes a couple plays, and then he gets cut.
Yep.
And you're like, well, why do you even have Jordan Mason? Like, why is he even on the team? Like, I'm asking sincerely. Then yesterday, Willie Snead gets released. Willie Snead, I believe, had 20-something snaps, and Danny Gray had like 5.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
And then Willie Snead gets released? Like, why is he playing then if you're only going to release him a couple days later? Like, that, I think, is, to me, and that's the frustrating thing with Shanahan. It's like, dude, I get it. You want to play veterans because you want to win now, but you are the one who invested draft capital into these rookies. Give them a couple of opportunities.
Well, that's why I would love to see Danny Gray run that route instead of Ray McCloud. We just saw Ray McCloud drop a dime in Atlanta. A dime. Third quarter. Perfect throw from Jimmy Garoppolo, but he drops it, and I'm saying, okay, that's enough for Ray. I've seen Ray muff punts. I've seen him muff kickoffs. I've seen him, I've seen enough for Ray in the passing game. And so to not see Danny Gray on that play, maybe Jimmy does throw it earlier. Maybe Danny Gray does make a play on the ball. I just don't trust Ray to make a play on that ball. So when the outrage of it was, man, Ray's got to make a play. Like, Ray's going to all of a sudden turn into Megatron? Like, he's not that dude. So the plays are there. It's just the way the plays are drawn up for certain individuals. Like, if I see Charlie Warner run another seam route, I'll lose my mind. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. Well, let George Kittle run it. He takes 2 defenders away. Somebody's coming in underneath on the drag route. Maybe it's Ayuk and Deebo Samuel in a one-on-one situation. I would take my chances with that.
I'm with you.
But also Danny Gray, he's a burner, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about team speed. Baldy, who's going to join us at 7:30. Brian Baldinger, of course, smartest man in football. Talked a couple weeks ago about the Niners' lack of team speed on offense. Well, Danny Gray's the one burner you got.
Yeah, but teams know that that's the route he's going to run. So I'm trying to play devil's advocate for Shanahan. So, for example, you're talking about don't run plays for this guy, but you don't get the Ross Dwelly play if you're never going to throw to one of these random dudes. Like, part of the beauty of this offense at times is that you're going to get the random guy open, and you're going to try to scheme that big play happening. And so when you get Ross Dwelly, everyone, you can't ever throw to one of these non-star players. It's like, well, man, we just had a huge chunk play with Ross Dwelly. You got to pick and choose your spots, and I agree with you there. But part of why those guys are out there and getting wide open looks because teams don't respect them. Yeah. And every now and then you got to take a shot with one of those dudes.
Well, 510 kind of says it. Xfinity Mobile text line. We're seeing why the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't keep Ray McLeod.
Well, they've got a lot of really good.
They've got a lot of guys, but they keep their dudes. They keep good wide receivers.
I mean,
you know
they might move Claypool right now. They got Deontay Johnson. They got the other
George
kid Pickens. Yeah.
So
who had a 0 in the game over the weekend?
Yeah, he did. He did have a 0.
I hear the thing. The overarching thing is that I do think that there are plays to be had out there on the field. You're not going to bat 1,000 as a play caller, and it just feels like yes, there is an element of opening it up, but there's also an element of there have been crucial times this year where down in distance they've let themselves down with undisciplined play, and guys aren't making the most of the singular opportunities like Ray McLeod that are given to them.
And he hasn't all season. So let me see Danny Gray run that route.
That's fair.
And if Ayuk is there and George Kittle's there, if you have CMC, Christian McCaffrey, and you have Kittle, and you have Ayuk on the field at the same time, and you have Danny Gray out there, what do you think the defense is going to do? They're going to focus on CMC. Mm-hmm. They'll probably focus on Ayuk. And they'll probably focus on Kittle, leaving Danny Gray possibly in a one-on-one situation.
Well, right now it feels like because he's only got so many snaps, if I'm looking at the roster of the Niners and I see Danny Gray go out there, because my dad says it, I mean, if my dad's noticing it, you don't think a sophisticated defensive coordinator is? So Danny Gray's here. They're taking a deep shot.
Okay, if they take a deep shot and he's one-on-one, I'll take my chances with that.
Well, he might be. I'm just saying hypothetically.
If he's doubled, then you know what?
Someone else is open.
I got McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Kittle on the backside. They're playing one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? So
there's got to be something to the Danny Gray thing.
But here's the thing in football, and I've learned this just through high school and college, and you talk to different coaches, you be around the game, speed kills.
Of course.
When you put speed on the field, it threatens the defense.
Yeah, but you also have to know the plays.
And you got to know the plays.
And you can't false start, which he's done multiple times this year.
He's done that. But give the kid a chance. Don't put him in his box with Dante Pettis. I would rather just see him get a chance. I've seen enough of Ray on passing routes. I would too. You know what I'm saying?
I want to know why he's not playing. That's the question that I would love for one of the beat reporters to put out there, because having straight line speed is great. Is there something that he's not doing that's keeping him from getting on the field?
Not sure at all.